a neuromuscular warm-up for a few minutes. Again, every week is different. I take my physical therapy brain and I input it into what I want to work on that week. And then the main set becomes a combination of jump rope, so high intensity work, paired with a strength training component for 1 minute, and then with an animal primal movement, which is the second minute. And then we go right back into jump rope again. There's going to be 5 rounds of that, and everything's going to be different. Some things are going to be dedicated to core, glutes, shoulders, depending on what I want to work on that week. Again, this is my workout, and I invited you to join me, so do your best however you can make it work for you. If you have to modify. If you can't do something, don't not try it, but maybe just make it a little easier for yourself. All right, and you know that I'm a sucker for inspirational quotes, so I do throw those into my jump rope and keeps me motivated. We are gonna start on the ground. I want your shoes off. The feet are a really important part of movement and exercise. Some dexterity through our feet, because when our feet hit the ground, everything up the chain changes, right? If we don't have strong stability and flexibility of our toes, our feet, we're not going to be grounded. So we want to stay grounded, because through a lot of these movements, balance and coordination is key. And that's the other thing. We always end with a balance and coordination drill. So if you saw the list of things that I wanted you to have for today, it includes your jump rope, obviously. If you can't jump rope, if you're inside with low ceilings, you could do jumping jacks. You can just do running in place, crank your music. I have like some crazy hip hop, old school going. You want to dance it out, do your thing. Kettlebell today. We're using free weights or hand weights, dumbbells, a resistant band, tennis balls, and a foam roller. All right, let's get down on the ground. So socks off as well. We're gonna work on toe mobility here. Toes, important, just like your fingers, they need to have dexterity. So you're gonna take your fingers and you're gonna thread them through your toes. All right, so see if you can, kind of like you're holding hands with someone, you're holding hands with your feet. And from this position, you're gonna work on extending and flexing the toes. We wanna get some mobility through there. I have a bit of a bunion on both sides, so it limits my range of motion in the big toe. When you have limited range of motion in the big toe, it limits your ability to walk in terms of pushing off and getting through the ball of the foot. And that also has to do with stability. So it can change your balance and coordination on one leg. All right, so with that, let's just do circles. You can get the whole ankle in if you want to. See if you can go in both directions. And if this is a little bit uncomfortable, you can loosen your grip a little bit, but we want to get some mobility through the toes. Sorry for the craziness out here. It sounds like there might be a fire. Let's get the other foot. So toes, fingers, let's lace them through. This is harder for me this side. It's been my left side these days. And again, you might notice that one side is a little easier, a little harder for you. We have a tendency to be more one arm, one leg dominant, one leg or one hand, one foot more dexterity. All right, let's go rotation one direction, rotation in the next. Let's get the whole ankle clockwise, counterclockwise. Okay, see if you could just wiggle the toes. See how much dexterity you have and control. We never exercise or move our feet the way we should. You know, I've been treating a lot of professional ballerinas in my career, and I'm always amazed by how well they move their toes and have that dexterity. All right, this is our first neuromuscular drill, and we're gonna be working on an ankle pump walk. So really it's just a walk, up and down. Walk, up and down. All right, so we have the big calf muscle, walk back. The big calf muscle is known as your gastroc. Underneath the gastroc is a longer, deeper muscle called the soleus, and the soleus is known as our jumper muscle. The interesting thing about the soleus is that it also acts like a second heart. It's not a real heart, but what it does is that when it compresses, it actually helps to send our venous blood return back up. So for those of you that deal with any sort of swelling in the lower extremities, it's important to do ankle pumps. You don't have to do them standing per se, but even if you do them lying down, feet elevated, pump your ankles, it's going to help to increase the circulation and move any stagnant lymph or blood that's stuck in the tissue. So if you've ever seen somebody that's standing for long periods of time, like new Army recruits, if they don't sway, they'll faint. And the reason for that is that they're not contracting their soleus, so their blood is pooling, and then they drop. All right, good. Now we're gonna do mini squats. So find your hip width, feet directly underneath, and we're just gonna go little mini squats. So we're doing 10 in this position just to increase blood supply to the quads. All right, so from here, it's a tiny little pulse. We're just starting to contract the quadriceps. All right, from here, we're gonna do a step out. So step out, step out. Maintaining this slight bend in the knee. We're now engaging and asking our ankles to start working with our knees, keeping our hips slightly bent as well. So everything is in a slightly flexed position. All right, so from here, we're going back into a diagonal pattern. We did diagonals last week, and they're never something that we think about doing a lot of, right? A lot of our exercises are, in the gym especially, are linear, but linear movements are not entirely functional, right? We want to move and rotate and learn rotational skills so that we can translate that into a functional movement. All right, we just want to stay low here, about 45-degree knee bend. All right, good. Come back to center. We're going to just do some hip swings. All right, let's work on pulling up, using that hip flexor and pushing back. It's almost like your leg is a pendulum. Let it feel almost heavy at the ankle. So the ankle is guiding the movement. You're lubricating the joint, getting some mobility through the hip. Okay. Great, let's try the other side. And again, this is also working on balance in the standing leg. If this is tough for you, grab a chair, hold on to something. Just keep moving. All right. Great, so we got whole lower body. We're gonna move down to the ground. Grab your foam roller. We're working on thoracic extension. Thoracic extension is found through the mid back. So we have a tendency to have this curve through the lumbar spine, especially when we're squatting, but we need to keep this, remember, zipped up in that lower abdominal, strong backside, but the ability to extend just through the thoracic spine. So this is my favorite thoracic extension mobility drill. Grab your foam roller. You're gonna sit. You're gonna find, ladies, you'll know this around the bra strap area. Men, it's kind of like that lower scapula area. From this position, you're gonna take one leg, cross it over into a figure four. That locks out the pelvis so you can't cheat. All right, hands behind your head. You're gonna take a deep breath in, and you're on your breath out. You're just going to allow yourself to fall over this foam roller. When you fall over the roller, you'll notice that you might, I'm very tight this morning. So you might notice that you can only get to here. And that if you start to cheat, you're gonna look like you have a lot more mobility. Cheating is never a good thing, right? So, yeah, not in your body and not in life. So let's just work on finding a spot that feels like a door that's jammed. Get a little bit of pulsing in there. It's kind of like you're lubricating the door jamb. Oh yeah, I just did a little chiropractic adjustment on myself, felt a little crack. Find a little area below that. Again, you can switch legs. This doesn't matter which leg you're using. I mean, I find that when I switch legs, my left hip is a little tighter than my right. All right, breath in. And on your breath out, see if you can go any lower. Using that breath, dropping that diaphragm. Good job. Okay. Whenever we work the thoracic spine, we work on increasing oxygen consumption in the lungs because the diaphragm gets a little massage, so that's a good thing. All right, we're gonna do some lumbar mobility drills, and this is gonna increase also flexibility in the hamstring. So we're gonna go into a deep squat. So from here, you're gonna grab your toes if you can. All right, we're in a deep squat, and then you're coming up into a pulse of a hamstring stretch, right? So we're coming into a squat and a stretch, squat and stretch. Drop your head, see if that increases the stretch in your hamstrings. All right, give me 5 more here. I was so in the mood for old school hip hop. So I gotta love Spotify. All right, 3, 2, feel that hammy. Good, last one. Great, come on up. So grab your tennis balls or tennis ball. And so y'all know what the rotator cuff is. It's comprised of 4 muscles that work as a cuff over the shoulder to help keep the humerus in place. So when you have atrophy of any of those muscles or overuse any of those muscles, we have limitation in the shoulder joint, which is a capsule, right? So for those of you, I just did a video on frozen shoulder, working on the subscapularis muscle, so you can check that out on IG or TikTok. Take the tennis ball. This is a compression. You're gonna find the scapula, and you're gonna take that tennis ball, place it right into that scapula, right on where it's fleshy on the scapula. And you're gonna lie on the ball, and if you have any shoulder issues, this kind of sucks. It's pretty painful, but compression is really important. It's like your own massage. We're gonna start in this 90-degree position, and we're gonna go into external rotation and then internal rotation. See where you're most limited. If you're most limited in external rotation, see if you can keep your arm externally rotated, and then allow yourself to roll on the ball a little bit. Oh my God, this is so tender. You know, it's the trigger point of the infraspinatus actually runs down. It can almost feel like it's tingling or numb into the pinky. That's the trigger point there. So if you're on it, you might be feeling that. All right, let's try the other side. All right, so we're going to 90 degrees here, and we're just externally and internally rotating, finding that spot. Nice and controlled movements. You know, I never realize how asymmetrical I am until I start poking and prodding myself, challenging myself. We take for granted how symmetrical we are in terms of strength and flexibility, but you know, it's funny, even when I cycle or go uphill or challenge myself on the bike, I notice big differences in left to right. All right, good. So socks and shoes on. We're gonna move into our main set here of dumbbell thrusters. We're going from a deep squat to a stand, and then you push the dumbbells overhead. You're gonna place them kind of over your shoulder, a bit like this, right? So again, this is the position, the zip up, the holding through in that abdomen, the core strong and stable, and then you push them straight up. But this is coming after we do a deep squat. So we're going into our squat position, stand, push up, squat, stand, push up. The second part of this is going to be a loaded beast to a burpee stand and a heel raise. So again, let's just go through beast position. Beast is that kind of hovering position, all right, from here. A loaded beast now is when you lean all the way back. Those of you who've ever taken yoga, this is kind of like a, you know, a standing upright child's pose in a way. So you're not on your knees, you're literally hovering. All right, so we're going from loaded beast position, and we're gonna come up, stand, heel raise, back down again. And if you can jump back, great. If you can't, step back. If you can't jump forward, step forward. All right, 2 minutes. And if you can't rope, jump, go for jumping in place. just move. This is your workout too. All right, so you know I'm a sucker for inspirational quotes. First one of the day is, in the middle of every difficulty lies opportunity. In the middle of every difficulty lies opportunity. So I'm assuming y'all dealt with COVID. The rest of the world did. But how did it affect you? What was the difficulty for you? I know plenty of people were lucky enough to keep their jobs. I unfortunately had to close my practice for good in New York City. And I was pretty messed up emotionally, really, because I couldn't do what I love to do, and that's help people. And I decided that I still wanted to maintain facilitation of healing. So through that difficulty, I didn't accept defeat. I started a TikTok channel and grew it in the last 6 months to almost 130,000 followers. My intention was purely to help people help themselves heal in alignment with my mission in life. So even though COVID took my practice away, it didn't take my authenticity away and my goal and my direction. Those dumbbells, deep squat to thrust. Here we are. So hands overhead. Great. Down, up. Good. Make sure here, if you have to go slower to maintain your positioning, do that. This isn't a race. This is about form and function and movement. Form and function, the two things that unfortunately as we get older we begin to lose. And it's that fighting of the aging process. It's really important, no matter how old we are, that we always continue form and function. And as a PT, when I'm rehabilitating people, we always default to our poor functional movement patterns, but that's what got us injured. Loaded beast to stand. About 1 minute into heel raise, pushing it back. Loaded beast to heel raise. Whew. All right, maybe I should have worn shorts. It's warm now. Oh, this weather. New York City in the fall. It's my birthday month, and I never know what it's going to be like. If you remember back in 9/11, it was the most beautiful day. Blue skies. It's really amazing. Just like today, actually. Whew. Okay, 4 seconds. Good job. All right. I keep forgetting to start my watch. So then technically this workout doesn't really count. It's okay, it counts in my mind. And I could watch it and do it again. But maybe. All right. You never know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you know. And I found that quote and I put it up on my 9/11 post. And for those of you that were with me last week, you know that 9/11 week is always the toughest week for me every year. And I didn't know how strong I was emotionally after my severe decline after 9/11, being in the towers and experiencing that hell. I didn't really know how my life was going to change after that, and I had to dig really deep. And digging really deep means finding strength you didn't even know you had. You didn't even know it was possible. So if you're going through something right now, know that you got it. You can get there. Strength is within you. We seem to always think that we find it outside of ourselves, but nope. It's in there. It's hanging out. It's there all along. You're your biggest advocate. You want to get better. You want to get fitter. You want to get faster. You want to get stronger. Only you can make that happen. No one's going to do it for you. So let's get it done. All right. We're going kettlebell swings. I'm using a 25-pound kettlebell because I'm in beast mode. If you want to go lower than that, you can. We're going to be doing 30 seconds Russian kettlebells. Russian kettlebell swings come to 90. 30 seconds of American. You don't have to do American. This is where you pull it all the way up overhead. This is serious core and stability. Slight bend in my knee. Swing the kettlebell through and pop it front. You want to really work on contracting your glutes to get it up. This is all a thrusting motion with your hips. You want to work, it's almost like the kettlebell is barely in your arms or barely in your hands. You're not over gripping it. You're using the momentum and you're using the weight to get it up. Good, that's 30 seconds. I'm going overhead now. This is a little bit more advanced. You don't have to. Pull it up and let it swing down. Again, momentum. I'm actually not even feeling the weight at the top, but I'm feeling it mostly as I'm moving through that mid-center. My abdominals are getting a workout. My shoulders are staying strong and stable. Great job. Okay, this is our primal move in here. So hovering crawl here, hovering crawl, and we're going half back, half front. So we're going from quadruped, half back, half front. All right, hover, contract that core, allow yourself to drop back. We're doing rotation of the shoulder, and at the same time, our entire core is staying steady and strong. If this is too hard for you, just lift one arm, one leg, okay? Bring it up and rotate it over. Good, we got 20 seconds. Controlled movement, control. We don't have much control over our lives, but we do have control over our movements. Good, we got 5 seconds. Okay, good. Again, jumping rope isn't your thing. Jump in place. Do something that's going to challenge you. This is all about plyometrics right now. I don't care if you're box jumping, if you're doing karaoke across your living room. Do it with a smile. Have fun with it. All right. You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you're at and change the ending. Takes me back to about 6 years ago when I wanted to change my body composition. You know, I knew I was moving into this perimenopausal time, and for those of you ladies out there that know what that means, it means that, you know, fat kind of stays around the middle, a little harder to get rid of. My Get some love handles that aren't so lovely. Your skin, your hair, your bone density, all that starts to decline. And I thought I needed to get to my ideal weight before I entered this new phase of life. And I did. And man, it took time, but commitment. And it's not just about weight, but you know, we may have had a sucky childhood, or we may have had a tough time in the beginning of whatever journey you started. You can't change that. You can make up your mind to change how it's gonna end. You write the ending to your own story. You are your own main character. Do you want to play? All right, good job. All right, we're going staggered squat. So staggered, again, hip width, slightly on an oblique angle. We're going for a mini squat, and then I'll show you from the side. Mini squat, lean forward into the standing leg and kick that one leg back. All right, so mini squat, kick back. Mini squat, kick back. This is gonna be like ka-thunk in the junk here. All right, we're going 1 minute on each side. Here we go. Get that booty to burn. Burn, baby, burn. All right, slight squat. Here we go. 1. I don't care. I'm not even counting. I want you to do this until you burn. Burn that butt. Get that booty going. So really important for those of you that run, for those of you that cycle, for those of you that walk, right? If you have a weak glute, you got nothing. And you don't look cute in your jeans. Come on. We go. Get this. It's a cute thing. That's why we use that little peaches emoji. I love that little emoji. All right. We got 15 seconds. It's jeans weather coming up. Apple bottom jeans. I don't like the boots with the fur. They're cute, but no, I don't want to be in fur boots right now. 3 seconds. Oh my God. My standing leg is actually burning. Great. Flip it. Turn. Same thing. Slight bend. Oh, let me turn on the minute timer. Slight bend. Here we go. Lean forward. Standing leg. Here we go. To fatigue. It's interesting. I had a patient of mine, haven't seen in quite a while because I used to see her in New York City. She had sent me an email saying that when she walks, you know, obviously we're all like doing the quarantine walk. It's like the walk of shame or something, right? Anyway, so she's doing the quarantine walk every day, and she sent me an email saying that one of her feet just kind of kept getting sluggish and a little bit numb. And obviously I couldn't see her or treat her because I don't have that office anymore. But I said, why don't you test to see what your glute strength is like on the side of the foot that keeps going numb or tired, and see if there's a discrepancy in how strong that glute is. And I talked her through how. She got back to me the next day and said, oh my God, the glute, that hip extension, you're done, is completely weaker than the other side. And so what that's telling me is down the chain, everything's working too much. Loaded beast to a deep squat. All right, so loaded beast position again. Now here's the interesting thing. So we're going loaded beast. We're gonna jump outside of our hands, and if you can, stay in the squat position with hands up. All right, so loaded beast to jump squat. All right, we got 1 minute on the clock.
Catch that. Could you try?
Oh no, Siri, not now. All right, here we go. Loaded beast to jump squat. Loaded beast to jump squat. This is a tough one. This is working that booty again. See if you can stay low. Siri is not sure. Neither am I. Woo! I'm starting to burn. Oh my gosh, it's only 30 seconds. How you guys doing? I'm not looking up. Whew. Come on, we got 15 seconds. Oh my God, my quads. Woo. If this is too tough for you, step up and step back. Whoa. One more. Good job. Ooh, shaky, shaky. All right, grab those jump ropes. Jump ropes as if you get two. We're not double dutching today. Okay, 2 minutes on the rope. Eminem. All right, this is a good one now. Be stronger than your strongest excuse. How many excuses do we give ourselves in a day? Seriously, right? Like, I'm too tired to work out. I'm too tired to go do some air squats because I've been sitting at my desk doing Zoom calls for 10 hours today. Excuses didn't work for you. So I'll tell you something, movement amongst the stagnation will increase your serotonin. Serotonin, happy hormone. It's a good one. Also helps to decrease your cortisol. Well, that's if you're not in a high cortisol state and you're doing crazy exercise. But movement, just movement, it's important every single day. I did a post, I think yesterday, on the myth of the 10,000 steps. And did you know, it's so cool what we learn. 10,000 steps was created by a Japanese, doctor. He created a step meter, and the step meter counted steps. And they chose this random 10,000 steps. And those 10,000 steps then became ingrained in our society. So now we think if we don't hit 10,000 steps, we're not doing anything. But it has nothing to do with the steps. It's actually how hard you work during those steps. So you could do 5,000 steps at a pretty good clip, and you're still gonna lose weight, you burn calories, you're just gonna feel better. So don't focus on a number. Focus on how you feel. If it makes you feel good, do it. If it doesn't, question if that's your ego. And if it really doesn't make you feel good, stop. You can always restart. Just like life. All right, good job, guys. Your band. We are going to put this around the knees. We're working on lateral hip. So from here, we're going to do a mini squat, keeping this resistance. All right, 2, 3, bend, jump, come back. Now to the other side. All right, we're going 3 to each direction. We're on. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Pop it up. 1, 2. Mini squat. Pop it up. Great. 1, 2, 3. Pop it up. See how much air you could take. If you can't, just raise your heels. Good job. All right. Plyometrics. We're working our muscle reactivity time, but we're also working on strengthening bones, getting bone density a little bit stronger. So for those of you ladies, once again, that are going through menopause or you're in menopause, things like this, resistant body weight movements, jumping, plyometrics, coordination, balance, these are all really important as estrogen starts to decline. So, and for men, you're not out of the woods. It is called andropause. And what does that mean? Low T. Yeah. Testosterone is your fountain of youth, just like our reproductive hormones, estrogen, progesterone, are ours. I try to keep them. I would like to keep them for as long as they want to stick around. Okay, we got one more jump. Whew. Good job. All right, get rid of those. We're going right into horse riding stance with pulses. So if you, whenever of you have done any ballet, it's like a grand plie position. Any of you that done karate or taekwondo, horse riding stance. We're coming out in this very low squat and we're working on walking. So we're doing 1, 2, 3, hold here, pulse 1, 2, 3, bring it back. 1, 2, 3, get it down. 1, 2, 3, feel the burn. Quads and peaches, baby, quads and peaches. All right, let's get down. 1, 2, 3. Good job. 1, woo, 2, 3. Let's get it burning. 1, 2, 3. We got one up, one down. Left. 1, 2, 3. Great job. All right, here we go. Sorry, I don't know who that was, but they interrupted my flow. Okay, last one. Here we go. It's a slow process, but quitting won't speed things up. It's a slow process, but quitting won't speed things up. Prime example. So I had to go for a run yesterday. For those of you that know me, I want to embrace loving running. I want to. There's something about it that's like this whole mental mindset of how much I don't like it, but I do it anyway. It's good for me. So anyway, halfway through, I don't know, I started getting cranky in my head. And I was like, this is boring. I don't like this. And then the mind, the body of course starts to comply. And then I'm like, my right knee feels cranky. See? My left ankle. I was just cranky pants. And I'm like, just quit. Walk it home. And I thought to myself, but I have somewhere to go. So if I walk it home and if I quit this run, it's going to take me longer to finish. So if I just push through it, I'll go. So I did. And I had an amazing split. And it made me realize that quitting wasn't the answer. Pushing myself through the need or the want to quit was the answer. Because the outcome was way better than where my mindset was prior. So, you feel like quitting today? See if you can shift that. It's not going to get you to be done any faster. You're done with the rope. All right, this is going to be a little bit complicated, but you could do this. I have faith. All right, so down on the ground, knees out. Use a resistance band for knees out position. All right, bring them up, zip up your core, really stabilize through here. I don't want to see anybody rocking. I can't see you anyway. Was that remark? Well, maybe I can see you through the screen somehow. I'm the oracle. Okay, so we don't want this to happen. We don't want to have you have any space in between here, so you have to zip up through here. So using this core stability, we're bringing our legs up into a tabletop position, 90 degrees. All right, from here, we're actually going internal rotation. Let me turn and show you. From here, internal, external, tap down, tap up. Internal, external, tap down, tap up. You have to maintain this position in the legs. All right, minute on the clock. Here we go. Keep the resistance. Hold it up here. So internal, external, tap down, tap up. Internal, external, tap down, tap up. Make sure you keep that core strong. You want to make sure you have a flat back. Do not roll through your pelvis. You have to keep everything neutral. The tension stays in the outward direction, pulling against the resistance bands. You want those resistance bands to be holding your legs in the right position. This is going to help fire up your core. It's really, you should be burning or feeling it more in your lower abdominals than you are in your legs. Relax your feet. If you feel like you're tensing your feet or your ankles, it means that the movement's a threat, right? You want to relax your face, relax your feet. Good job, you're done. That's 1 minute. Bear crawl position again. So that quadruped, right, hover position. You're going to take that dumbbell on one side and you're literally going to pass it through, place, pass it through, place. Maintaining, here's your core stability. When we're in that crawl position, everything becomes a chain. All right, this is called a closed chain position. This is the position we want to stay in. Hollow belly, zip the core. All right, people, last one, here we go. Place it behind one wrist and keep moving. Your whole lower body has to stay stable. If you can imagine somebody placing a glass of water on your low back, you need to make sure that it's steady and stable. No falling through the hips, no rotating through the trunk. Everything stays strong and stationary. Head position. Watch your mouth. Make sure you're not gritting your teeth. Make sure you're not biting your tongue. Relax. Your shoulders are strong. Everything's maintained. Toes are tucked under. Glutes are strong. Finding a spot on the ground. Good job. Keep this moving. You should start feeling a little bit of an increased heat. More tension in the shoulder. Make sure you're breathing. Good. Give me 3 more on each side. 1. That's 1. 2. Great. Last one. 3. Woo! Good job. This is the last of our coordination and balance drills because you know how important these are to me. All right. Shoes off. And grab a tennis ball. This is going to get a little crazy, but again, balance and coordination. So I'm going kind of high level here. We're going to take one leg, we're going to shift our bodies over one leg. If you want to hold in a tree position, you can. If you want to bring the leg up, you can. If you want to bring it out, you can. The idea here is to get yourself to be stable on one leg, all right? You can even just drop it down. Here's the hard part. See this tennis ball? We're going for a throw. All right, let's just see if we can hold this position without wobbling while maintaining this throw up and down. If you want to make it harder, you can move the leg. All right, let's see where we're holding tension. I just immediately went to, see that tongue position? That's a threat. This is not easy for me. Maybe I'm gonna make it harder. Okay, I have no idea how this is gonna go, but I'm gonna attempt to juggle on one leg. And I am feeling really wobbly on that leg. I'm starting to feel some tension in my calf. So this is what I mean about trying different positions and challenging them. This is all functional movement. Let's try the other leg. Shift your body weight onto one side. Okay, this is not my dominant side. Catching and throwing a ball with my left, I feel like I've never thrown a ball before. Catch my balance. see how this goes for you. So anytime you learn a new task or challenge yourself from a neuromuscular positioning, it takes a lot for your brain to try to figure out what exactly you're doing. It's called neuroplasticity. Plasticity, it's the ability for your brain to kind of get those neurons to fire together. It's just learning a new pattern. And what do they say? Neurons that fire together wire together. And what that happens then is, like when you have an injury, or let's say I'm treating a patient that's had a stroke, and all of a sudden they now have to learn how to do easy patterns like feeding themselves all over again. And what used to be easy isn't easy anymore. When you start to challenge yourself in ways that are not what you're normally used to doing, your brain gets tired and your body gets tired. Good job. Give me 2 more. Oh my God, my ankle's burning. Yes. Thank you so much for joining me again. Be well. So much love. Be well.